And welcome back. It's Jason Walter here, and here's your latest California housing market update. This is actually part 3 of my 3-part video series that I make for you guys every single month. So in previous videos, I went over what's happening right now on a national level, as well as what's happening regarding home prices compared to the peak last year. But in today's video, I'm actually going to be sharing some news regarding at a regional level, as well as a countywide level regarding home prices, housing inventory, and of course, home sales. And like I mentioned in previous videos, every housing market's different. So I thought it'd be interesting to share how each of these counties are faring because of course, there's some very big differences here in California. So first, I want to share this with you guys. This is from the California Association of Realtors, which, by the way, today's video is all based on data from the California Association of Realtors, based on a report they just announced a few days ago. So this is what I shared with you guys several days ago regarding what's happening statewide. So very briefly, I'll share that with you guys. And by the way, the stats in today's video go over existing home sales for single family houses only, excludes condos and of course, multifamily. So existing home sales on an annualized basis, that's a decrease of almost 46%. So a decrease of almost 46% in closed home sales from January 2022 through January 2023. We also saw a decrease on a year-over-year basis for the median sold price here in California, down by 1.9%. Of course, inventory is skyrocketing, up by 100%, and days on the market is up by 175%. I want to mention that because that's what we're seeing right now at the statewide level, but here's what's happening for each of the major regions here in California. Let's first talk about Southern California. A decrease of 41.1% for closed home sales. I kind of find this funny. This is January, right? Yet they still provide year-to-date numbers here. So of course they're going to be the same compared to 1 year ago. Anyways, 41.1% decrease of closed home sales. And home prices, whenever I mean home prices, I mean the median sold price, down by 0.2% year over year. The unsold inventory index is at 3.6 months, days on the market at 32 days, which is on par with the statewide average at 33 days, also at 3.6 months, on par with what we're seeing here in Southern California. Also on average, houses are selling for approximately, 3.3% below the seller's final list price. So that's Southern California. Let's have a look at the Central Coast. The Central Coast, a decrease of 35.1%, or a decrease by 35.1% on a year-to-date basis. Anyways, existing home sales, $894,500. That's a median sold price, a decrease of 2.8%. This, of course, means the median sold price in the Central Coast is down by 2.8% compared to 12 months ago. Inventory index, as well as days in the market, more or less on par with the statewide averages here. And the sale price to final list price ratio is approximately 95.9%, meaning houses on average selling for about 4% below the seller's final asking price. So that was the Central Coast. Let's talk about the Central Valley right here. Central Valley down by 43.3% for home sales. The median sold price at $425,000. Look at this though, down 6.6% compared to 12 months ago for the median sold price. Huge decrease compared to 1 year ago. Inventory as well as days in the market on par with the state, and the sale price to list price ratio at 96.5%. Sounds like a radio station. Anyways, let's have a look at the Bay Area. Bay Area home prices are down a whopping 14.6% year over year. If you guys missed my previous video, I posted probably 3 days ago. I went over in great detail the differences in home prices compared to the peak seen last year by each of these major regions, as well as each of the counties here in California. And again, just like I mentioned in that video here, this 14.6% decrease accounts for the fact that we saw huge gains in the first half of 2022, followed by a giant decrease in the second half of 2022. And by my analysis of the California Association of Realtors data, for the Bay Area as a whole, home sold prices are down a whopping 35% compared to the peak last year. I mean, how mind-blowing is that? Down by 35% compared to the highs last year, and also compared to 1 year ago, down by 14.6%. Again, if you missed my video regarding the changes from the peak last year for each of these major regions and counties in California, I highly urge you to take a look at that because this is something that's not typically reported. Typically what we see here is right here, year-over-year changes, which does not tell us the full story about what's happening right now in our US housing market. Let's also have a look at the far north because home sales are down by 39.6% and the median sold price down by 3.4%. Also, the unsold inventory index and also days in the market tends to be quite a bit higher compared to the statewide averages here. And also the ratio right here tends to be a little bit lower as well at 94.8%. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about home sales in the California housing market. And as I mentioned in my previous video, the current levels for home sales on an annualized basis is more or less on par with the Great Recession going back to 2007 and 2008. Also, this fallout in home sales that we saw in 2022 is very much eye-opening, especially given the fact we haven't seen anything like this going back to at least 2006, 2007. So that's closed home sales down by about 46%, but also pending home sales, in other words, with the contracts being signed between buyers and sellers, is still down by 34.5% from 12 months ago. However, we did see a slight increase compared to last month, which is entirely normal given the fact that our housing market is virtually frozen every December. Also regarding home prices here in California, I'll touch very lightly on this because I went over in great detail for my first housing market update that I posted probably about 5 days ago regarding what we're seeing right now in California, because the median sold price here in California as of January is at $751,330, a decrease of 3% compared to December, and a decrease of 1.9% year over year. This number right here may not sound like a lot, which is probably the number you guys probably see reported here, but based on my own analysis, if you guys missed my video, I went over in great detail regarding this, but home sold prices are down a whopping 17% compared to May last year. May was the all-time record high for home prices here in California when the median sold price was $900,000. Now it's $751,000, a decrease of 17% by my dumb math. Also, when you compare this to the same time frame in 2018, which is May 2018 through January 2019, during that time frame, home sold prices decreased by 11%, whereas this year we saw a decrease of 17%. But wait, there's more, because this year-over-year decrease down by 1.9%, we've only seen decreases in home prices 4 times compared to 1 year ago since February of 2012. So this is only the 4th year-over-year decline going back to February of 2012. Those 4 times were January, of course, as you can see right here, December, as well as November. The previous time where we saw negative price growth was actually the onset of COVID back in May of 2020. Therefore, we've been seeing negative price appreciation for 3 consecutive months. Okay, let's talk a little bit more what we're seeing across each of the counties here in California, which, by the way, I believe the California Association of Realtors tracks approximately 51 counties across the state here. So here's the percentage of houses that sold above the seller's asking price. If I had to guess, this is probably the final list price and not the original asking price. I actually really would love to see more stats regarding the original list price rather than the final list price. Anyways, it's pretty remarkable because look at this. In San Francisco County, only 44% of all the houses that sold this January sold over the seller's asking price. This is virtually night and day difference compared to the spring months of 2022. If I recall, this percentage here for San Francisco was actually above 80% during the spring months last year. Now it's only 44%. Of course, another way to look at this is that this means that approximately 56% of all houses that sold in San Francisco this January sold at or below the seller's asking price. On top of that, out of all the counties that the California Association of Realtors tracks, this is actually the highest percentage here. San Francisco at 44%. In second place is actually Alameda County, which is just east of San Francisco, at 35%. Then after that is at 30%, which is more or less in Santa Clara and San Mateo. What also caught my attention regarding this slide right here is that in San Diego, that ratio there was approximately in the range of 20 to 25%. In Sacramento, which is right here, the ratio there was also approximately 20%, meaning on average, only 20% of all houses that sold over asking. In stark contrast, look at Marin County. Marin County at approximately 5 to 10%, and Napa County around 5%. In regards to housing inventory in the state, take a look at this, because housing inventory increased a whopping 64.8% compared to January 2022. That's statewide. This is despite the fact we've been seeing fewer new listings for 7 consecutive months. And on top of that, last month, we saw a decrease of new listings down by 16.3% compared to 1 year ago. So despite the fact that new listings are down compared to 12 months ago for 7 consecutive months, housing inventory has increased almost 65%. Also, when I'm talking about surges of active listing inventory, this is not in just one neighborhood, one city, one county, or one region, because have a look at this. Here's active listings, which of course is housing inventory, the number of houses for sale in green here. The biggest increase compared to 12 months ago was actually in the Central Valley, an increase of 74.2%. That was followed by Southern California, an increase of 70.9%. The San Francisco Bay Area, a gain of 57%. The Central Coast, gain 55%. And the far north, an increase of 37%. Also, in regards to home sales, which is the blue bars right here, we saw the biggest decrease of home sales in the Central Valley, down by 43.3%. And that was followed closely by Southern California, a decrease of 41.1%. In fact, when looking at the countywide level here, virtually every single county in California experienced increases in the number of houses for sale compared to 12 months ago. So there's actually only 3 counties where inventory actually decreased. That was in Plumas, Del Norte, as well as Mono counties. In stark contrast, look at this. Solano County, a giant increase of 242.4%. We also saw triple-digit increases of housing supply in Yuba County, Riverside County, Amador, as well as Placer County. What also caught my attention regarding this slide right here is that most of these counties are recording increases of housing supply by at least 50%. In other words, huge increases in the number of houses for sale here in California. Let's also talk about what we're seeing right now at the countywide level regarding home prices compared to 1 month ago, compared to 12 months ago, as well as home sales as well. In regards to the 7 major regions that the California Association of Realtors looks at, here's what caught my attention. Here's home prices compared to 12 months ago. We saw decreases in the Central Coast, the Central Valley, the far north, the San Francisco Bay Area, as well as SoCal, whereas we saw only a 0.2% increase in Inland Empire and more or less flat in Los Angeles. So nearly every single major region here in California are recording decreases compared to 1 year ago regarding the median sold price for existing single-family houses. All right, let's have a look at what's happening right now in the San Francisco Bay Area for each of the counties here. And this is pretty eye-opening here, to say the least. Every single county are recording decreases compared to 1 year ago. Alameda County down by 14.8%. Marin County tanking, down by 18.1%. Down by 18.8% in San Mateo. Look at this. Going from $2 million to $1.625 million in 1 single year. San Francisco, decrease of 15%, going from more or less 1.6 million to just under 1.4 million in 1 single year. Contra Costa County down by 11.2%, Napa down by 8.4%, Santa Clara down by 10.8%, Solano down by 0.6%, and Sonoma down by 2.1%. And of course, huge decreases in closed home sales on a year-over-year basis as well. And in fact, the biggest decrease was actually in Marin County, a giant decrease of almost 53%. I mean, what a difference 12 months makes, because every single county is recorded decreases on a year-over-year basis in San Francisco Bay Area. Southern California, Los Angeles down by 2.8%. Riverside down by 0.8%. Also more or less the same in San Bernardino. San Diego down by 5.7%. A lot of people ask me what's happening in San Diego. The median sold price in January, more or less $825,000, down from $850,000 last month, and down from $875,000 1 year ago. Home prices are down again by 5.7%, and home sales down by 35%. Interesting to see that San Diego actually has the biggest decrease in home prices for each of these counties here as well. In the Central Coast, Monterey down by 2.9. I mean, every single county here recorded decreases here. San Luis Obispo down by 6.5, Santa Barbara down by 2.5, Santa Cruz down by 7% as well. Are you guys catching on to the trends here? I mean, this is pretty eye-opening to see how many counties are recording decreases compared to 12 months ago. Just absolutely insane. The Central Valley, Fresno down by 5.8%. In stark contrast though, look at Glenn County, an increase of 18%. I will have to say that some of these counties don't have a whole lot of home sales because they tend to have a lot of fluctuations month to month. And Glenn County is one of those where we tend to see huge fluctuations. As you can see right here, home prices up by 36.9% compared to 1 month ago. Of course, counties like these where we tend to have a small sample size, take them with a grain of salt here. Let's also have a look at Placer County, which is more or less northeast of Sacramento, going all the way until North Lake Tahoe. Home prices are down by 6.7%, and a huge decrease of home sales down by almost 41%. Sacramento, where I live and work as a real estate agent, the median sold price at $498,000. 1 year ago, it was $524,000. A decrease of 5% for home sold prices, and home sales down by about 46%. In the far north, have a look at this. Plumas County, which is more or less, an hour north of Sacramento. If anyone knows what's going on in the market there, I would love to know, because the median sold price decreased by 24% compared to January of 2022. I'm guessing it's due to a mix of closed home sales and of course a mix in the prices of houses as well, because they saw a 11.4% decrease compared to last month. Here's some other counties as well. El Dorado County, which is just east of Sacramento, down by 6.6% in the median sold price from a year ago, and also home sales down by 52.5%. Mendocino County, this is probably another area here where we tend to see a huge mix of home sales and also not as many houses that are closing escrow as well. I'm guessing because of this right here. Mono County down by 42.9% compared to 1 month ago, and closed home sales down by 73%. But home prices up by 18.5%. And lastly, Yolo County, a decrease of 3.7%, and Yuba, an increase of 5.6% in the median sold price compared to 12 months ago. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this report right here? To me, my biggest aha moment is how many of these counties are reporting decreases in home prices compared to 12 months ago. The numbers here are more or less night and day difference compared to the spring months last year, when virtually every single county was recorded increases compared to the previous year. But I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Please comment below. Of course, I appreciate you guys watching this video. And of course, I appreciate you guys in general for supporting my YouTube channel. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.